I really want to get to the big picture of flying triangles. I've seen the evidence with my own eyes. I've seen the video. I've heard the witnesses. They can't just be earthly.
Where's the proof that these things are actually alien?
So there's a new guy on the team. His name is Kevin Cook. He's a mechanical engineer. He's from Philly. Now, he doesn't always agree with me, it's true. I've got my work cut out for me.
They could just very well be some sort of high-tech military aircraft that nobody's seen before.
Sure, a high-tech military aircraft that can both hover, stay stationary, go invisible, and shoot off at what, Mach 5, Mach 8? Come on.
You know, I like this guy.
The similar type of thing happened before about 20 years ago when people were seeing flying triangles in the sky, and it was just a stealth bomber. The same thing could be happening again right now with a different experimental craft. It doesn't necessarily mean it's alien.
Kevin's coming from that place where a lot of scientists and engineers come from. It's a place of nuts and bolts where they don't believe it unless they can actually see it. Well, you guys want evidence, that's what we're doing. We're going into a UFO hotspot that's famous for Triangle UFOs. And I know it's true because I was actually there a couple years ago where I met with the Skywatcher who actually videotaped one of these daylight triangles while I was there.
So you saw it?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't see the triangle, but I was with a guy who videotaped the triangle when it happened. So I know the phenomenon is real.
This is going to be a challenge. There's not a lot of physical evidence that I can get my hands on here. I'm working mostly with these theories that Bill and Pat are throwing out. Somebody needs to make sure that they don't go over the edge and they stay grounded in reality.
We will hear things that will convince even the most die-hard skeptics that flying triangles are real, that there's an alien connection that's unmistakable, and I suspect we may even discover why they're here. If we can show him what we know to be true, what the documents say, what the witnesses say, what the video says, if we can get him to see that for what it is, we may actually have a real scientific edge to our entire investigation. I'm going to meet with Ruben Uriarte, MUFON's Northern California State Director. He has been researching the history of UFOs in this area and has developed one of the most comprehensive databases available. We're going to get the really big picture of flying triangles, what they are and who's flying them.
We've been getting so many reports of sightings, an increased spike of triangles especially. We consider it like an intersection to what we call Triangle Alley, which is from Southern California all the way up to the Washington border. Nevada's right next door. We have Area 51, which is approximately 260 miles away. Tonopah Air Force Base, another black budget base, possibly 200 miles away.
So the Nevada test site is only about 250 miles away. That's like the blink of an eye for some of the multiple Mach supersonic aircraft we have. In Triangle Alley, there have been over 60 reported sightings of Triangle UFOs only since the year 2000. This is a huge number of sightings for such a sparsely populated region. Imagine the number of sightings that have gone unreported.
Here's a triangle now. This is 1986, Bill. This is before they released the B-2 bomber. Obviously, the characteristics are a lot different. They're huge. This thing went right over a freeway, 4 lanes in width.
So where was this?
This is further north up here near Corning. What's really interesting is this thing was just hovering. And the witnesses actually observed in detail, as you can see, over half an hour.
This craft in Corning is similar to hundreds of other videos we've seen right here in Triangle Alley. It's 3 lights that may look separate, but they're in this rigid configuration with each other. They hover silently in the sky. Then they shoot off at tremendous speeds. We've got to find out, what is the link among all these different craft? This reminds me of Phoenix.
Yes. All the same characteristics that we keep hearing about. You know, they're large, they're silent, lights around the perimeter, major light in the center.
When you compare planes to this, when you compare helicopters to this, they behave entirely differently. How long have these been going on?
It goes back probably in the great airship sightings back in 1896, 1897. From San Francisco to Sacramento, all the way to Stockton, around the general vicinity. There was reports from miners that were working and seeing strange objects, strange stars. The other thing that's unique about this area, Bill, is there's a large cavernous system that stretches throughout the state, particularly right here in this area for several hundred miles up toward the Shasta area. This area is loaded with minerals. You know, it's gold country.
When he said gold country, I stopped in my tracks. Gold? Could it be that simple? Whoever or whatever is flying these triangles could be interested in gold.
We've been focusing a lot on extraterrestrial, but perhaps the other answer to this whole mystery is inner Earth.
Gold has very, very high conductivity. We use gold in circuits. So we should be looking down at the same time we're looking up. And if we find something there that can actually possibly draw UFOs to it.
I consider Sonora like the intersection. It's a beacon here.
Here's what we know. It's not just Sonora, it's the entire Sierra Nevada range. It's not just flying triangles, it's all sorts of objects. It's not just now, it's 100 years. Maybe it's the gold in these hills that's been attracting flying triangles for well over 100 years.
We're in California gold country to investigate the theory that aliens are mining our gold to use as an electrical conductor to power their craft.
This gold mine is dry. Just because gold is one of the best conductors of electricity, that's not proof that aliens are coming here to get it.
A number of experts have hypothesized that there is a connection between heavy mineral deposits, particularly gold, and UFO activity. It's just a theory. You're smiling at me like I'm insane. What do you think? Am I nuts?
Pat's suggesting that UFOs are actually hovering above the mountains and somehow extracting the resources they need from the mountains themselves. That just sounds like Star Trek to me. I'd much rather focus on the Geiger counter and the magnetometer and looking for any unusual readings than thinking about Pat's unusual theory.
I'm here meeting with my good friend, fellow publisher, Giorgio Tsoukalos. I've got this missing. There's something in flying triangles that goes all the way back to ancient times.
I've actually got something that might make your triangle mystery a bit less mysterious. This artifact like here was actually found in Colombia, and it's pre-Columbian, and about a dozen of these have been found. And to the untrained eye, this looks like a fighter jet. Mainstream archaeologists and mainstream science basically says that this is nothing but a stylized insect or a stylized bird. From a biological perspective, wings on a bird are exactly where we have our arms. They're attached to the shoulder girdle. In this example right here, the wings are not attached to the shoulder girdle, so biologically speaking, this is not a bird. The one thing that is extremely interesting here is the upright tail fin. Birds do not have upright tail fins. Their tail fins are horizontal.
This is incredible. Giorgio is actually showing me representational artwork of triangular shapes that the ancients used as talismans. How would a Colombian culture from 1500 years ago even understand aerodynamically what a tail fin does, right?
Unless they saw something, but they couldn't explain it entirely. And so not only did they put a whole bunch of stuff in writing, but they also recreated stuff that they said, you know, our heirs should be able to look at these things so that we don't forget what has happened during their time.
Can you say it? It's the missing link between the ancients' vision of flying triangles in the sky and our vision of what flying triangles can be and what we've actually reverse engineered for our own aircraft. Either people from another world came here with those, or, even more stunning, somebody was time traveling.